going on, everybody? TRAE4PAY back in the building, coming at you guys with the final part to day 2 of the Darrell Brooks trial. It's been a minute. A lot of you in the comments are telling me I don't need to address it every video, but I do appreciate the fact that y'all are still rocking with me. Sure enough, I'm doing it for the family. Y'all had a good Thanksgiving. I noticed I didn't say that in the last video. Y'all are getting ready for Christmas because that's coming up fast. But I have no updates to give, so this is going to be a really quick intro. But before I begin, I do want to say, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's go ahead and listen to an extremely painful cross-examination from Darrell Brooks. Let's get started.
You just described for us?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you eventually go on to the parade?
Yes. So right after, 5 seconds after the SUV got in and stuck his head out, then the light turned green and I went and parked my car.
Okay.
And then met with my family at
Okay.
the location.
Okay. And did you see a red SUV on the parade route?
Yes, about 30 minutes into getting there.
Okay. So I'm just going to slow down here a little bit, okay? You're doing a great job, thank you. I just want to ask you now, as you're standing there at the parade, what do you remember about the first time you saw that red SUV?
So at first, so a group had just passed us. I believe it was the Catholic community group. And then there was a large gap. And so I looked to see, what's next.
Okay.
And saw a red SUV, which I originally thought was part of the parade, in the far right lane of Main Street, but it was going really fast, and I said to myself, why is this going so fast? And then it clicked as soon as it switched over to the far left lane, and then into the group of people right in front of me.
And that would be the Catholic community group?
I do believe so.
Did you see the red SUV strike any people in the Catholic community group?
Several.
Can you estimate how many?
At least 15.
Okay. And did, I'm sorry to ask it this way, but did you see anybody like actually fly or roll or tumble?
Yeah, so originally it was, I heard sounds like thuds, and then it was in the air, like bowling pins.
Okay. Did you get a look at the driver of the vehicle as it went through the parade?
Yeah, when I had just said it veered to the left and then struck the group of people, it was about probably 6 or 7 feet from where I was standing.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I saw directly through the driver's window.
What did you see?
I saw a man focused on the group ahead of him.
Is that Darrell Brooks that you saw?
Yes. And as soon as that happened, about 10 seconds after, I froze and I said to my mom, who was with me, I just saw that guy at the gas station. And it clicked that it was the same person.
You remember exactly that it was the same person?
Yes.
Okay. You described hearing some noises that you described as thuds, is that right?
Yes.
What do you think that noise was?
Hitting a large group of people with a vehicle.
Okay. Did you hear Mr. Brooks honking the horn in the vehicle at all?
No.
You described some driving maneuvers where you saw him going from side to side of the road, is that correct?
Yeah, I saw it coming up Main Street in the far right lane, and I was in the far left, on the sidewalk of the far left, and it was then in the far left lane.
Okay. Were you able to estimate the speed of the vehicle at that time?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Would you be able to estimate the speed?
To the best of my knowledge, I would say 20 miles per hour, perhaps.
Okay. Did you ever see the vehicle stop?
And look, 20 miles per hour and then somebody else guessed 30, I think, like that. It may not sound like it's fast. That is extremely fast. Like I've seen, um, it's not funny. When I was in high school, though, I seen somebody like playing around with a car and they try to jump out of it when it's going just like 10 miles per hour. When I tell you the amount of damage this dude did to himself, this dude hit the ground, broke his arm, his leg was messed up. Like, it was crazy. So I say all this to say, if it doesn't sound like that's fast, that is extremely fast when it comes to, you know, the blunt force damage it can do to a person. You know, and I don't mean to choke. I was chuckling at the thing from high school because at the time it was just a dude. It was like, it was a wild dude. I still remember him.
I think had to at least very well slow down.
Saw him the
couldn't
other day,
just
actually.
Continue on over as many bodies as it did. I remember the brake lights, but then it continued.
Did you actually see the vehicle drive over people?
I saw it hit the group and people fly,
Jeez.
and then there was just chaos in the street.
Okay. Had your boyfriend's daughter already gone through?
No, she had not.
Okay. So she was back waiting to join the parade, or
We
did you
didn't
know where she
know
was?
at the time, no. So as soon as it happened, my boyfriend leaped up to go help people, and I grabbed him. I said, no, go find her. So then he took off and had to go find her down 5 blocks.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. I don't have any other questions for you.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any cross-exam for this witness?
I do. First of all, good afternoon.
Oh, I can't imagine how terrible it must be to get cross-examined by somebody like this. Like, I don't even know. Like, first of all, these witnesses, they gotta be strong as I don't know what, bro. Because if he was asking me questions, I'd be so non-compliant. Like, I would, I'd give this dude the worst time. Like, he would try to, like, angle questions to make it sound a certain way. I'd just be like, no, it was you. It was you. But are you sure that you got a direct look at the driver? Yeah, he looked like you. I see pretty well too, and he looked just like you. Pretty sure it was you.
You stated that you saw brake lights. Would that be fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would it be fair to say you would only see brake lights from a vehicle if it was attempting to stop?
Or slow.
So
He got so thrown off. He was so thrown off by that, like, oh my God, she found another angle.
you would see brake lights on a vehicle that is attempting to slow down or stop.
Sure.
He did not expect her
And
to
you
say that.
stated that you can estimate the speed of the vehicle.
I estimated 20 miles per hour.
And would you characterize that as extremely fast?
Yes, for the parade, yes.
It's like I said, if you're hitting people, that is extremely fast. And it's a car, okay? It's an SUV.
How did you come to the conclusion of the speed?
With how quickly it went from point A to point B in my range of sight.
going back to the gas station incident, you were. I guess I would need to see the map again.
We
You
still
were-
have that available? The map? We still have the map with the markings available up, or was it cleared after we captured
I
it?
didn't clear it. Yeah,
Okay.
could we please, save that as 7B, please, Your Honor?
It will be saved as 7B.
And admitted.
Any position on that, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah, I don't see the relevancy of the map.
It's
You're
directly
using
related
the
to your
map right now.
testimony, sir. It's relevant. Your objection is noted.
So
It's overruled.
Did she just say what I said? Like, it's
Your
you're using
testimony,
it.
sir.
Hold on a second.
relevancy of the map.
It's directly related to her testimony, sir. It's relevant. Your objection is
Right.
noted.
So
It's overruled. Exhibit 7B is received.
How's he gonna sit here and say it's not relevant? He just asked to see it again. Okay, I just wanted to quickly point it out. I'm not gonna pause it too much.
where were you positioned again at the stoplight?
I was in the front row in the middle lane.
Do you remember if it was a car to your right?
I think there was a car to my right.
Do you recall if the vehicle you saw going into the gas station had any tinted windows?
I do not.
And you stated that you were pretty sure it was only one occupant of that vehicle?
Yes, that's all I could see.
With all you can see, or are you sure that it was only one occupant?
I could see one person.
So it'd be fair to say you couldn't see any other seats in the vehicle?
I saw one person when it was head to head with the vehicle next to me, the one with the arms in the air, and then I saw one person as he stuck his head out the window once he pulled in.
Could you see the passenger seat?
I could not from
Could you
that point.
Could you see the back seats?
No.
Are we done with the map? I'd like to turn it
Oh,
over.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Do you recall who subpoenaed you here to testify?
Yes.
You stated for the record?
Yes, I said. Oh,
You-
the state of Wisconsin district attorney.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom today?
Objection irrelevant.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks, move on. Under 90611, I've sustained all of the objections related to this line of questioning. It's not relevant. Next topic, or I will find that the cross-examination venue is done.
His face.
So you sustain.
I'm tempted
every
to use
question
that for the
pertaining to
thumbnail.
that part of questioning, or is it for
Yes.
every testimony? Or
It's on that topic, so you may continue if you choose another topic.
have you ever seen the plaintiff, state of Wisconsin, before?
Right, pursuant to 90611,
Thank you,
judge
Darrell.
controls the
You did a great thing
order
today.
and mode of interrogation.
You,
that
I'm
these
so glad
questions
you did that.
Violate sub 1, and Mr. Brooks will not be able to ask any further questions of this witness. Does the state have any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
Never thought I would say that before, but you did a
Mr.
good
Brooks,
thing,
I'm not gonna
Darrell.
address that right now. I think this will be a good time to take our afternoon break. So we'll be, I need to address a couple things with the parties, but as far as the jurors are concerned,
Oh,
about
okay,
15
okay.
minutes for the afternoon
I
break,
didn't see.
give or take.
I'm guessing he's down
All
here
rise for the
doing
jurors,
whatever.
please. Has passed 3 notes to the court. I review them as they come in. At times I put no response needed by the court. I initial it, date it, put the time. These will be uploaded into the file at some point. There was one particular request I do want to take up by Mr. Brooks, and that is at 1:11 p.m. he sent a note to the court indicating, "I'm very emotional right now. Can I go to the other court?" I responded to that at 1:20 p.m. and I said the court will address this at the next break. Clerk advised to provide a copy of this response to the parties forthwith. I believe she may have provided even the other note, a copy of the other note and my response at that time, but at a minimum I know my response was copied and provided to the parties. I did note that I saw Mr. Brooks reviewing the papers. They were put on the corner of his table.
Let me guess, he pushed him off.
Wrote down the time. It's not at my fingertips. I'll look for that. But in any event, I did want to address that with you, Mr. Brooks. You've been in the courtroom. You've been meaningfully participating. Are you asking to go to the other courtroom?
At the time that we went back on the record, I was very emotional at that time. Still very emotional, but I'm attempting as best I can to hold it together. That does lead me to, since we are addressing certain things outside the,
Well, I'm addressing this first, sir. Are you making a request to go to the other
I'm not
courtroom?
making any requests at this time. Like I just stated, I'm trying my best to hold everything together considering how this day has been. I can't expect anybody else to know what's inside my head to know what I'm going through right now, but yeah, we'll just leave that there.
All right, thank you. That is noted for the record. At some point, sir, after I admitted Exhibit 6, you raised an objection. I told you I would allow you to raise that outside the presence of the jury. Now's your opportunity to do that.
And which one would you be referring to?
Exhibit 6, sir.
Or the video?
We've seen multiple videos, but
The-
yes, Exhibit 6 is a video, sir.
You
I
don't know
think
what's going on.
it's very clear what I was referring to in that video. The interview portion of the officer with the 3 individuals has language in it that you made a ruling about pertaining to a whole different entire,
Which part of the video, sir?
the interview part.
He don't know.
I'll say it again,
He
as I've
doesn't know.
already said it clearly enough. The interview part between the officer and the 3 individuals.
And what specifically are you referring to? What statement, sir? I need some specificity
Do you need it
to
played?
that.
Do you need it played?
Mr. Brooks, you're the one making the objection.
Say the
Please make your
words.
offer of proof so I can rule on it.
The offer of proof is that there's language said by Erica Patterson in that interview that can be audible, referring to another situation in another county. You made a ruling on that would not be admitted into evidence. So at the very least, that portion of the video that you've already admitted into evidence should be removed, or the whole video should be struck and removed from the record. And I'm saying that because of the ruling that you made, the judicial determination that you made, Your Honor.
Let me turn to the state. Attorney Opper, I don't specifically recall. If If I need to review it on a break, maybe I will, but do you have any idea what this is referring to?
I do not, Your Honor. I did not hear anything in that recording that would violate your previous orders.
I object to that. It's very clear if the video was played that you can hear language said in that portion of the video.
What is
that
he
you
talking
clearly
about?
rude on.
I'll review it at a later point in time. The state will need to.
So is he just talking about the fact that is he just referring to like the separate, because isn't the domestic violence dispute, is the domestic violence case like a separate thing from this? And so he's talking about that part or something? I don't know.
Just file that clip on a flash drive so I can review that in chambers. From my perspective, even if there were to be something, it was not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. This was to provide an account of what the officer was experiencing, but I'll review it. If there is something in there, I certainly can. It doesn't change the fact that the video itself is admissible. It might have an impact on whether it's played again for the jury, at least at that particular point. But again, I didn't personally catch that, but there was a lot going on in that video at that time, a lot of audio. There's clearly, in addition to the audio from the squad, you can hear the radio, so I will need to review it again. Mr. Brooks, I'd appreciate if you not roll your eyes at me. There was a lot going on in that video. I don't think anyone in this courtroom would disagree with me. What I'm telling you, I'm giving you the
Such a
opportunity
child,
to
bro.
raise
He don't
the
get his
issue
way.
since you.
He really wants her to just like completely remove that out of evidence just because he said so. And now that he hears that like it might not happen, his eye rolling, tantrum building up.
Essentially didn't, well, let me state it this way.
Like
You
this
raised
dude
it when
really
you
only
thought it
has
was
like 2
appropriate.
to 3
I told you I'd
moves
take it up
in his
outside
back
the presence
pocket.
of the jury. That's what I'm giving you the opportunity to
Eye
do.
roll,
What I'm telling you is I'm not going to make
tantrum,
a ruling specifically because I need
punching
to
desks
watch the video.
or
And
tables.
so I don't think that's something you should be rolling your eyes at. That's proper for this court. It would be something that if I were to just give my ruling right now, it would be something that someone could look at later on and say, well, you just admitted on the record, you didn't hear it yourself. So what I'm telling you, sir, is I'm gonna take the time, not now during the trial, but on a break when I can look at it in chambers and keep a careful ear out for what you said, and then I'll come back and make my ruling.
Your
So
Honor,
that's giving deference to your
He don't want to
request.
hear that. He wants you
So
to
I
do
don't
it
think
right
it
now.
warrants you rolling your eyes at me.
I wasn't rolling my eyes to you about
So
that. and
with
I
that, we're on recess,
I would-
15 minutes, everyone. The court's.
Your Honor.
Please be seated. We are back on the record. Mr. Brooks, you have incredible hearing because you are right. At approximately
What?
2:58 to 2:59 in that video, I can hear Erica Patterson saying that I get into an argument or I argue with my baby daddy all the time and he previously ran over my foot. So I'm going to take the request under advisement. At this point, I'm inclined to strike this exhibit from the state's case. I'm going to give the parties over the weekend to file any written requests regarding it or further authority.
I can't
and I'll address
believe
it,
this.
first
They might just make an attorney out of
thing
you
Monday
yet. Look
morning.
at you.
So thank you for
Look
bringing
at
that
you.
to my attention.
I'm not interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
And then he got another question.
Did you make a ruling on the filing for the demand of verified statement of particulars by affidavit?
Mr. Brooks, I'm not going to address that. It is an argument that's without merit. I'm summarily denying it yet again. We're going to bring the jury back out, okay? We're going to continue with testimony. Does the state have the next witness available?
I need to chill out. I've been rolling my eyes like most of this since this video started. I need to chill out. I'm not trying to.
Objection is noted for the record. We're continuing, Mr. Brooks. Thank you.
I'm not trying to take a
I'm
page
aware
from
of
his
that, Your
book.
Honor. I was just trying to make sure I didn't interrupt you while you were saying something. So
State's next witness, please.
will you be proving the subject matter?
We need the jury, here.
Oh, we do. Oh, sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Let's bring the jury out.
Tenant's motion to dismiss this case for lack of personal and subject matter jurisdiction. And I'd like to state that for the record.
I actually haven't heard.
You have not proven subject matter jurisdiction yet, Your Honor.
I haven't heard him say that in a while.
Making the judicial
And I
determination.
direct your attention to the Barnaby decision, Mr. Brooks.
Is that
I'm
a
surprised.
judicial determination? The record should reflect then that I got no answer.
That's right.
All rise for the jury.
Silence is a tacit agreement, Your Honor. For the record.
What? What's he saying?
I have a post-it note, Madam Clerk. All right, thank you, everyone. Please be seated. State may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Detective Casey.
All right, Detective Casey, if you would please take the witness stand.
Well, he's looking
When
for a
you get
window
there,
to
Please
interrupt.
remain standing. Raise your right
Oh,
hand.
he
and
backed
my clerk,
off.
Teresa,
I can't
will
believe
swear
it.
you in.
All right. Next witness, let's see.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you. Please be seated. Would you please state your first and last names for the record and spell each?
Thomas Casey, Thomas, Casey, Casey.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Detective Casey, what is your current employment?
I'm employed by the City Waukesha Police Department.
And what is your rank?
I'm a detective.
How long have you worked in law enforcement?
Over 25 years.
And, directing your attention to the date of November 21, 2021, were you on duty that day, sir?
Yes, I was.
In what capacity?
Well, my rank was detective, but I was assigned to the Christmas parade as traffic control.
Okay. Just helping out?
Just helping out.
All right. And have you patrolled the Christmas parade in the past, sir?
Yes, I have for many years.
Okay. And the parade's always held on Main Street in downtown Waukesha, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. About what time did you report to the parade route?
That day, myself and 3 other people started at 1 p.m.
And where'd you go?
My position was on White Rock Avenue and East Main Street.
Okay. And as a detective, you typically dress in plain clothes, is that correct?
Typically,
That day, were you in plain clothes or a police uniform?
I was in a police uniform.
Could you describe that for the jury, please?
I had a jacket on that had shoulder patches on each side. I had a hat that said police on the top of it. And I had a neon vest on that said police on the front and back of it.
Were you driving a squad car?
I had an unmarked squad with me, and I also had a marked Ford Explorer with me.
And the unmarked squad, are there any red and blue emergency lights on that squad, sir?
Yes, there are.
In more than one location?
Yes, the front, rears, and then the sides.
Okay. At your post there on White Rock and Main Street, did you have your unmarked squad parked there?
Yes, I did.
And then there was also a marked squad parked there.
Correct.
Were the red and blue lights activated on those squads?
Yes, they were.
What was the purpose in activating the red and blue lights?
To notify traffic that the road was closed down, make it easier to see.
Okay. And you said you reported for duty at 1 p.m.?
Yes.
And about what time was it when you actually went down to the parade route and shut down that intersection?
Right when I got there at 1 p.m.
Okay. So that area was closed since 1 p.m. that afternoon?
Correct. So the area on White Rock Avenue between Niagara and Main Street is the staging area for the parade floats when they come in. So they close that area about 3 hours earlier before the parade starts.
I see. What was the weather like that day?
It was very cold and windy out.
What time was the parade supposed to start?
4 p.m.
And do you know about how many units were participating in the parade?
There were 67 units that were assigned that day.
And all of them are told to report to the staging area to line up before they get onto the parade route, is that right?
Correct. The roadway is closed to my position, and they're all supposed to enter from the north and come south.
Okay. How many spectators would you estimate were present at the parade?
Oh, there had to be at least 5,000 people. There were there. The parade route is about 6/10 of a mile long. The sidewalks were packed. There were some people in the roadway, so we estimate that there was probably at least 5,000 people watching the parade that day.
Okay. And you're obviously aware, sir, that there was a tragic event that occurred as the parade was underway, correct?
Correct.
Do you know of the 67 units that you told us about, how many units were impacted directly by the conduct of Mr. Darrell Brooks?
There was 8 units that all had people that were injured during the parade.
And you know which units those are, or which groups those are?
Yes, I do.
If I were to show you video of those groups early in the parade route before the SUV goes through, would you be able to identify those groups for us and tell us a little bit about each one?
Certainly.
All right. Just to be clear, sir, well, if we could please put up Exhibit 1. It's the easiest way to ask my question.
Exhibit 1 will be published.
I would quickly like to object to being called that name. I do not recognize the name that the prosecutor used.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
So, again, the direction of travel for the parade is what? Which direction, sir?
The parade starts in this area right here.
Okay.
This here is the staging area, and it travels this way, which is southwesterly fashion, and then it proceeds this direction, which is west.
Okay.
Wow, and that's right next to where he had the incident with his ex-girlfriend, because that was right around here. Oh, yep, there's Frame Park, and that's where it actually happened. So, you know, like, the coward he is, did that, tucked his tail, and ran this way. And somebody said in the comments, he did go to the gas station after he had the incident with Erica, so it was a thing where, like, he could have calmed down by that point. So it wasn't a matter of, like, he was so heated that he just did something like that. He actually had time to sit and think about it, and he still did this. So
Okay. So the units
Just
that were
solidifies he's
struck first
trash.
by the
I don't
SUV
really think you guys need more evidence that he
were near the end of the parade,
is
correct?
Near the end or maybe the
irredeemable
middle.
guy. You
There
know?
were still some parades that haven't even started the parade route yet, and there were some that had already finished.
Okay. And so we'll just play these videos, please, and I'm going to ask you again as we play them to identify the various groups that were impacted. So,
Attorney Upper, any request as relates to the annotation?
no, I don't think so, not at this time, Your Honor. We can let that one go.
All All right, Mr. Brooks, any request as it relates to the annotation?
I don't understand what is annotation.
Next time, wait. The monitor, the touch screen made annotations, made marks. We've been capturing it. The state said they were not asking that an exhibit be made. Unfortunately, they're no longer on there. So we won't have the specific markings. Would you have wanted those markings to be captured? Okay, because I would give instructions to Detective Casey to redo them if you wanted.
No.
All right, then go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna ask, we're gonna preview
Oh, I see.
Exhibit 10, please. Do you see the beginning of Exhibit 10 on your screen, sir?
No, I do not.
It should be, it might take a second or two.
I have an image on there now.
Okay, do you recognize that image?
Yes, I do.
And do you know Exhibit 10 to be a video clip?
Yes, I do.
Looking at it right now, do you recognize the group that is displayed on that first screenshot, I guess, from the video that's displayed?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what group do you see there, sir?
The Catholic Communities of Waukesha.
Okay. And do you believe this clip that we're about to show the jury will be a truthful and accurate representation of the parade units as they entered the parade route?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I do believe that they do.
Okay. Move to admit number 10 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
For the record, how long is Exhibit 10?
It is 3 minutes and 31 seconds, Your Honor.
Any position by
Object.
Mr. Brooks?
Object with the grounds.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
What are the grounds?
Permission. The Exhibit 10 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
What are the grounds, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted. It's overruled. I'll answer this. I believe the evidence is relevant to the charges in this case.
Detective Casey, before we begin playing the video, what do you see? Could you please describe for the jury and orient them to what they're seeing at this point?
So this would be the Catholic Communities of Waukesha. They would be marching westbound on Main Street, which is at the early beginning of the parade. And the cross street there would be East Avenue, and the church behind them should be St. Matthias Church.
Okay. And did they have a banner in front of their group as they marched down the road?
Yes, they do.
Okay. To your knowledge, sir, you've seen many videos from this parade, correct?
Correct.
And you saw some of these units, at least as they entered the route, correct?
Correct.
Did the Catholic community of Waukesha, did the participants for that group wear any specific clothing or uniforms, to your knowledge?
No, they do not.
The objection is noted. It's overruled. Then the answer may stand.
And to your knowledge, did they walk in any sort of formation?
It was just a random formation. Sometimes they changed a little bit as they were walking.
Okay. Please play.
Man, it is a lot of families out there. Look at all the little kids, man.
And now at about the 24-second mark, what's the next unit coming into the screen?
The Dancing Grannies.
Okay. And they had a banner?
The dancing grannies.
Okay.
And the woman on the left-hand side of the screen is Virginia Sorensen.
On the left-hand side of the screen or the left-hand side of the street?
Objection. That was not the question asked, who the person was.
I'll sustain the objection. The answer was non-responsive, I'll strike it. Next question. Juries shall disregard the last answer provided by Detective Casey.
All right. Actually, we're just gonna play this and we won't identify any people at this point.
Okay.
To your knowledge, sir, did the dancing grannies have a uniform?
Yes, they did.
Do you remember generally what it looked like?
It was a blue dress. They had hats. They had some lights around them.
Okay.
White tennis shoes.
Okay. And did they march in a formation to your knowledge?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Please play.
Oh man, look at this.
What's that vehicle, sir?
It's a support vehicle for the dancing grannies.
All right. Did you happen to see that? No, strike that. All right. So that they had a banner in front and then a white, looked like SUV type vehicle at the rear of their group?
Yes.
Okay. That was the 146 mark. I paused, and we will continue to play. And if you could please pause at the 205 mark. Which unit is this, please?
This would be Citizens Bank.
And did these participants have a uniform or something that would be recognizable?
Not really uniform, but a couple of ladies got together and wore the same pants and jackets over the top, and then some Santa hats.
Okay. And they had this float associated with their unit?
Yes.
Okay. Did they march in a formation to your knowledge?
No, just sort of random. They were handing out candy, walking around, and no specific place.
Okay. Play. Pause. What's the next unit?
This would be Extreme Dance.
And do you know about how many people are involved with this unit?
Overruled. You may answer.
I would estimate about 35 girls, younger age, varying.
Okay. And again, they started with a banner in the front.
Yes.
Did they have a support vehicle involved as well?
Yes, pickup truck that there were two people in the back of the bed, which were resupplying the candy for the people that were marching.
Okay. Did these girls have a certain uniform?
Yes, they did.
What do you remember about their uniform?
Black tights, black sweater, white tennis shoes, and they all had a headband on
Okay.
that lit up.
To your knowledge, did they march in formation?
The girls in the front, there was 4 different groups of girls based on sort of their age and their ability. The girls in the front had more of a formation than some of the tiny tots that were in the back.
Okay. Play.
Yo, this is a cool parade, man. I'm sorry it got messed up the way it did. Like, it's... You can tell they put a lot of practice into this. This whole routine is cool.
All right, that's the end of that clip. I'd like to show you another clip that's been marked as State's Exhibit number 11 so that we can continue with the parade units, please. We'll preview it for you, sir.
Objection, what is the relevancy?
Your objection is noted. It is overruled. And you may question the witness regarding the exhibit.
Thank you.
I would note for Mr. Brooks that in addition to being relevant to the charges, it also goes to background and context.
What do you mean by background?
Background to the event. Events that led up to
Like
all
detail,
of the charges, the reason for why we're here.
detail background?
It's regarding the parade, sir.
I don't understand, but okay. Don't understand.
Your
Okay,
statement's noted for the record.
we don't need you to understand. I just kicked my desk by mistake.
Having technical difficulties, Judge, trying to spin the
You can see that.
video to get it upright. I apologize, Judge.
It's all right.
Going to Plan B here.
I think they're just trying to flip a video upright from what I'm understanding. But somebody in the comments had asked me what type of work I do. I do e-commerce and social media management for close to like a dozen different companies. So I'm like always on phone calls, always on meetings. A lot of the companies they're interconnected, so it's not like too much like, because if it was actually like that many I'd be spread way too thin. But excuse me, a lot of them are partnered, so I just have to get on the phone with a few different people and clear up details on like different stuff they want me to do, different tasks they want me to work on and everything. But that's why you guys may see me like disappear for a few days or so. Just because like I've had times where I literally have the computer and the camera set up and everything, and I get a phone call and I have to get right back to it. So it's a lot of just being on standby for when people reach out, being available for like a spur of the moment Zoom meeting, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do love
Appreciate
it though.
everyone's patience. I apologize. All right, sir. You now
Really
see
enjoy it.
the front screen of State's Exhibit number 11, correct?
Yes, I do.
And it's upright.
Correct.
Okay. And you have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe it's a
Hold
true?
on, there's been an objection. Are you objecting to the question?
I'm objecting to, is that the same video? I don't see the same person that was directly in the camera view when it was sideways. It looks like a totally different video.
Sir, it's not been admitted yet. The state's laying a foundation for that. And I'm gonna let them continue questioning.
So, Detective Casey, you have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Objection.
Yep.
Hearsay. Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
Yes, I do.
All right, move for admission of number 11 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, any position on the admission of Exhibit
Yes,
11?
I definitely object. This is not the same video that was just
They haven't even
attempted to be
shown it yet.
This is a totally different video.
This video hasn't been
Mr.
shown
Brooks, your
yet.
objection is
This is a
noted.
brand new video.
There wasn't much testimony about whatever that prior exhibit was, and I'm going off of his testimony about seeing this particular video clip. There's the still image in front of him that he identified he previously reviewed, and it's accurate, true and accurate. So based on that, your objection's noted, but it is overruled. I'll receive Exhibit 11. Permission to publish is granted.
You struck the last video then that didn't.
The last video wasn't admitted, sir. There were technical issues, they moved on. We will continue, go ahead.
Okay, so again, please orient us, Detective Casey.
So we are now a little bit further west on Main
Disappointment.
Street. This is about maybe 2 blocks west of the last location, and the cross street it would be at is northwest Barstow Street.
Okay. And what unit is shown on the screen at the moment?
This would be the Waukesha Blazers support vehicle, and then the baseball players come shortly behind it.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did this group walk in any certain formation?
No, they didn't. They walked around. They were also handing out candy, just sort of walking around, mingling with the crowd and themselves.
Okay. And were some of the players wearing their baseball jerseys?
Yes, they were.
And other individuals just had on like hats and coats and nothing discernible, correct?
Objection, irrelevant. Everybody had on coats and hats.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
So most of the players had their jerseys on with their numbers on the back, but there was also some coaches that were marching with them, and they just had regular jackets and hats that were on when they were walking.
Okay. Please play. All right. At the 38-second mark, we've paused it, or 39 seconds, we've paused it. What's the next unit coming into
Yo,
view?
this
This would be
parade,
Harris Logistics. You can see the pickup truck that's pulling a float that has the Grinch on the back.
Okay. Please play.
I was gonna say, yo, this parade looks way cooler than the one we had in my hometown. I'm from a really small town, so like the one we did was on a much smaller scale, I just say. But this is awesome.
And now at the 103 mark, we've paused it. What's the next unit coming into view?
This would be the Waukesha
sure,
South High
man.
School marching band.
Go ahead.
Oh man, that is cool.
And
Looks
we're
like
gonna
the thing you
stop
have
it
in a
there at
hot
about
air
the
balloon.
215 mark. So that's the Remax group going through, correct, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. Are those the 8 units that were most directly impacted by Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route, sir?
Yep.
I do not recognize that name or consent to being called that.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
Yes, they were.
In addition to that, there were some spectators that were injured. Is that correct, sir?
Correct. There's, I would say, 3 different groups of people, spectators that were sitting on the side of the roadway that were also injured.
Okay.
Yo, you want to know something that's so crazy? I actually was having, it's wild. I was having so much fun looking at the parade, and it actually made me forget that something tragic happened during it. Like, it's weird, you see this kind of stuff, and it's such a happy moment. And like, I just completely forgot until she said pause the video. Like, I was so immersed in it, like, oh man, this all looks so cool. Look at the flames coming out of that thing or whatever. And then like when she said pause, I was like, oh crap. And she said, oh, this was the area most impacted by it. Like, I gotta charge my laptop, but I completely forgot until she said something about it. Hold on one second now.
At some point, did you and other members of the Waukesha Police Department attempt to identify all the individuals who were injured as a result of Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route?
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
Said it like
Yes,
3 or
I
4
did.
times. Like, okay.
And about roughly how many people was that?
There are over 60 people that were injured that we identified.
Okay. Were you able, through your investigation detective, to determine where along the parade route each of these individuals were located at the time they were injured?
Yes, we were.
And were you able to map that information so that we can present it to this jury?
Yes.
I'd like to please put up number 15 in preview mode.
One of these officers actually shot at the vehicle. I saw that in not like the shooting or anything like that. I just mean I saw like a thumbnail with the title was like "I shot at you" or something like that.
Detective, do you
And
see State's Exhibit number
I think
15
it was
on
a
the
police
screen?
officer that must have like shot at the
Okay.
car as it was coming
Sorry.
by. Sorry, I talked over what she just said.
On the screen.
Let me.
Not yet.
Okay,
Camera.
sorry. Is it up?
No,
Okay. Okay, please tell me when it is.
it is up now.
All right. Can you please identify State's Exhibit 15?
This is a map that I put together that identifies the officers that were on the scene, certain locations of interest that people mentioned when they were interviewed. Also identifies the victims and the deceased that died during the parade event.
Is this an accurate summary of your investigation, sir?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit number 15 and permission to publish.
Mr. Brooks, any position? Your objections noted. The exhibit is received subject to all of the other events laying the foundation for this are ultimately presented to this jury, but you may publish as well.
Thank you. All right, and please, Ms. Gussie, if you could zoom in on the upper right-hand corner again, we'll start there again. All right, so first in the upper right-hand corner, you've designated where the location of White Rock School and the altercation with Miss Erica Patterson that we had testimony about earlier, correct?
Correct.
And then moving down White Rock, we see the location where Sergeant Warner was, correct?
Correct.
And then we'll keep moving down, please. Okay, good. I see your name in the middle of the map, sir. Could you start at that spot and describe what's in that area and then start working down the street towards Buckley?
So my location, I had two vehicles with me, an unmarked Ford Taurus and a marked Ford Explorer. We had put the two squads in plastic barricades diagonal, so the parade traffic could continue on westbound, and the vehicular traffic that was on East Main Street and Pleasant Street could make turns, and so we wouldn't obstruct traffic that much.
Could you draw that path for us, what you're referring to?
So the vehicles could continue this way without being stopped.
Okay.
Or the opposite way. And then the flow of the parade came this way down to my location and continued westbound without being obstructed.
Okay. I'm not asking for that to be captured, Your Honor.
Let me ask Mr. Brooks if he's asking that the annotations be captured.
I thought you already ruled that they wouldn't be.
No, that was for that one particular.
We don't need it on this one.
All right, then it won't be captured. Go ahead and clear.
Even the way he answers questions is just like, okay,
All right, sir.
no comment.
Through your investigation, were you able to determine who was the first person struck by the defendant's vehicle?
Yes, I was.
And who was that?
Nicole White.
And she was with the Remax group?
Yes.
And where was she when she was struck, if you could show us on the diagram?
She was on West Main Street, just west of Northwest Barstow Street.
Okay. And if you could please show us more of the bottom of the map, Ms. Gussie.
Hold on, before you move.
Okay.
Any requests to capture that annotation from the state or the defendant?
No.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes, caption it.
All right, we'll capture that. Will be
Surprising.
1D.
Actually, this isn't 1. This is 15.
Oh, sorry, 15D.
8.
Yes, 15A. Thank you for that correction.
Okay, now, is it captured, Madam Clerk?
Let's just do it again, make sure. I didn't look and see if it's in the numbers.
I see it, yep. Okay,
Should I clear it now?
please.
Yes.
Okay. The next unit to have been struck by the defendant's vehicle was what?
The Waukesha South Band.
And we see the names of the individuals in the band that were injured by the SUV, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and that location you've identified near the subway and another business known as Divino Gelato,
Correct.
okay? What was the next, well, I guess the next unit or individuals to be struck were spectators, is that correct?
That is correct. It'd be Charles Green and Lily Green.
And they were near the Martha Merrill bookstore, correct?
They were on Main Street, just west of Gasper Street,
Okay.
sitting on a little bump out from the curb.
Okay, and they were spectators,
Yes.
okay. The next group to
would-
have been struck,
It would be, the group is Bears Logistics Group.
okay. And what were they, what business were they struck nearby,
They were by Vasco Social Club.
okay? Now we need to go to the top of the map again, please. The next unit that was struck by the defendant's SUV,
It'd be the Waukesha Blazers Baseball Club.
and how many individuals with the Blazers were impacted by the SUV?
5 directly.
And their names are listed there on Exhibit 15.
Yes, they are.
And Jackson Sparks' name is highlighted in red. Why?
He's one of the 6 deceased people from this incident.
Okay. The next unit to be impacted,
That would be the Extreme Dance Team.
and the names associated with that team are listed on Exhibit 15.
Yes, they are.
And what was the general area and the street where they were impacted? What business?
They were right in front of Mama Ducky's Bakery, or Chef Pam.
Okay.
It's right before the 5 Points in Waukesha, which is an area where Broadway and Main Street cross.
Okay. Can you zoom back into the 5 Point area, please? Okay. And were there any spectators injured in that exact area?
Yes, there were.
And who was that, please?
Isaac Foglia and Deborah Ramirez.
Okay. And then, getting through the 5 Points, what was the next group impacted?
It would be Citizens Bank.
Okay. And that was Jane Kulik,
Correct.
and she was fatally injured?
Yes.
Okay. The next group? Or I guess the next group is actually spectators.
Correct. There was 3 children that were sitting on the north side of the roadway on the corner of Clinton Street and West Main, and they were struck by the vehicle when it came through.
What business is located right there?
The Steaming Cup is on the northwest corner of that intersection, so they're very close to that.
Okay. The next unit that was impacted,
That would be the Dancing Grannies.
and that was just past Clinton Street, sir?
Correct,
Man,
just
look at how
west of
many
14th
casualties were in the
Street.
dancing
Okay.
grannies.
And you've listed the names of the persons that were injured by the defendant's vehicle.
Oh man, that was that very first group, I think. The one I was like, oh man, it's the dancing.
Associated
Okay.
with the dancing grannies, correct?
The injured and the deceased.
Okay. And again, you've designated the deceased with red, color red?
They were at the very front
Yes.
too, so
And the others were just injured.
Correct.
Okay. And that was
I guess they were the
near
first.
a couple
group that got
businesses that
hit.
you noted on the map, sir?
That took up a very large part of the roadway that was very spread out, but Donnie Boy's Tap, Curry Insurance, those are the 2 most common businesses in that area.
Okay. Then if we could move on to the last group. Sorry. What was the last group to be impacted by the defendant's vehicle?
The Catholic Communities of Waukesha.
And have you listed there the names of all the individuals who were injured by the defendant's vehicle related to the Catholic Communities of
Man, look at all
Waukesha?
those
Yes, I have.
names.
Overruled.
I don't identify or consent to being called the defendant.
Your objections noted.
And is there a business or entity nearby that, in the area where the Catholic community was struck?
The closest place would be Planned Parenthood.
Okay. All right, thank you. We can take down Exhibit 15, and next I'm going to ask you to please pull up number 12. While she's doing that, Detective, I'll ask you a pretty basic question. All of the locations that you've described for us so far, are they all located in the city of Waukesha?
Yes, they are.
County of Waukesha?
Yes, ma'am.
State of Wisconsin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, are you aware as to some drone footage being captured of the parade route the next day after the parade?
Yes, I am.
Who captured that footage?
Specialist Andy Schmidt.
Works for your department, sir?
Yes, he does in the evidence department.
Okay. And was the drone able to travel the length of the parade route?
This captures from the area where the people started being injured. We didn't capture the entire route.
Okay. And to your knowledge, sir, you've seen this video before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Is it a true and accurate depiction of the way Main Street looked on the morning of November 22, 2021 at about 9:56 a.m.?
Yes, it is.
By now, all of the injured have been removed from the scene, obviously.
Injured and deceased.
Okay, but there's still objects in the roadway,
Correct.
and investigators and other people can be seen in the drone footage?
Yes.
Okay. Move to admit number 12 and permission to publish, please.
Any position by you, Mr. Brooks?
Objection.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 12 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Okay, so again, we're going to start playing this, and I will ask Ms. Gussie to pause at various occasions so you can describe what we're seeing, but if you can just give us a general idea where we are right now, please.
So right now the drone would be sitting on pretty low to the ground on West Main Street, just west of Northwest Barstow.
And which direction is it facing?
It would be facing west,
Okay.
the direction of the parade took.
Okay. And can you see or identify the business on the right-hand side?
That would be Smart Asset Realty.
Okay. And can you tell us, I don't know if you could tell, what's on the left-hand side? Can you identify anything? there
Just
right
a little
now?
bit further up is Subway sandwich shop, and I know that the Vino Gelato is right next door to that.
Okay, that's kind of right about the roof of that vehicle that's parked there on the left, right? I see Subway sign?
Correct.
Okay. All right, please play. And can you pause it here, please, at the 23-second mark? Was anybody struck in this area, sir,
Yes, this would be the area that Nicole White was struck.
with the Remax balloon?
Correct.
Okay. And now we got a better shot of the Subway there on the left?
Correct.
Okay, and on the right past Asset Realty, there seems to be a tall building with some mirrored windows on the right. Do you see that?
Correct. That should be 220 West Main Street.
And what's located there, sir?
It's an apartment building, 5 levels, and we captured some video that was recorded on the top floor of that building.
Okay. All right, play. And we'll pause it at the 35-second mark. Was anybody struck in this area, sir?
This would be the area of the Waukesha South Band.
Okay. Play. And we'll pause it there. At the 59-second mark, what do we see here, sir? The businesses, identify, please.
Oh, there's a chocolate shop on the left, and then the Vino and Gelato is just on your left, and the front building on your left with the black roof is Martha Merrill's bookstore.
Okay. Was anybody struck in this area?
This would be the area that Barris Logistics was at.
Okay. Play. Gussie, you could just keep it plain. I'm gonna talk, but you could keep it plain. It's at the 117 mark. What's that cross street here?
This would be Gasper Street.
Okay?
And that area there is where there were some spectators that were hit.
Okay, thank you. Now we've just crossed Gasper.
Correct.
Okay. And keep it plain, please. At the 157 mark, what businesses are we seeing here?
The joke shop is on your left, and the Waukesha Theater's on your right. That's the area that the Waukesha Blazers were in when they were hit.
Okay.
Man, look at the
And
baby
now we're
stroller.
approaching the 5 points area, sir?
Correct.
All right. Was any group injured in this area?
This is where the
You can tell just looking at it. Somebody said, I think it was the last person that spoke, the last witness before this dude. She said all chaos, you know, just chaos ensued. Like, you can tell that's what happened. People just like picked their babies up out the stroller, took off running, left all this stuff. Like, it.
Extreme Dance Club was when they were
I've said it
impacted.
before. I can't imagine how crazy this must have been when it started happening.
Thank you, ma'am. At the 240 mark here, what's this business on the right?
Objection. Just for the record, who were the people off to the right?
You can question the witness during cross-examination, okay?
On the right, there's Mama Ducky's and Chef Pam's kitchen.
Okay. And this is where we get that weird cross streets. That's why it's called 5 points, right?
Correct.
And that's why everybody gets lost in downtown Waukesha, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now we've gotten through the 5 points. And what business is on the right, sir? We're at the 319 mark.
There's a Irish restaurant on the right, and then coming up ahead is the Steaming Cup. That's right on the corner, on the right corner. And then on the left corner would be People's Park, which is a restaurant.
And that's the Clark Hotel on the right?
Correct.
Okay. We'll pause it here at the 351 mark. Do you see a vehicle in the picture at this point, sir?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what unit that vehicle is associated with?
That's a support vehicle for Citizens Bank.
Is this the area where Jane Kulik was struck and killed?
Yes, just up in front of the vehicle on the right-hand side, there's 2 green hash marks that would be the location that she was found at.
Okay. Play, please.
There it is.
And you already mentioned that's the Steaming Cup on the right, correct?
Correct.
And there were some kids hurt on the corner there?
Yes, on this corner where the blankets were, there's 3 kids that were sitting there that were impacted.
Okay. Now at this point, it's about 4:17, and the drone's gonna focus in on some skid marks on the roadway, is that right?
That is correct.
After further investigation, did these skid marks have any relevance to this investigation, sir?
We believe they have no relevance to this investigation at all.
But at the time, we weren't sure, correct?
Correct.
All right, now we're through that intersection. Did anything of significance occur in this area, sir? We're at the 5:17 mark of the video.
Yes, this is where the dancing grannies were at when they were impacted.
All right, can you please identify some of the businesses as we're going? Well, yeah, first, we just passed a white vehicle at the 5:23 mark. What was that, please?
That's the dancing grannies support vehicle.
Okay,
And then directly on the right in front of that is Donny Boy's, which
Okay.
is a bar. And then up a little bit further on your left-hand side is Curry Insurance.
okay, and we see Magellan's on the right with the big M.
Correct.
Okay, and you said this is the area where the dancing grannies were impacted.
Yes.
Are you able to tell from this drone the area where the position of 3 of the deceased victims from the dancing grannies were located?
Yes,
As we go further.
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm asking a foundational question. All right, we'll go ahead and play, please. Pause. That's the 5:32 mark. Can you identify for us what we see here, please?
On the left-hand side, there's a pavement marking with green paint, and there's some towels that were used for giving medical aid, and a lot of blood on the ground.
Do you know who was found at this location, sir?
Yes, I do.
Who was that?
Tamara Durand.
She's a deceased victim from the Grannies?
Yes, she is.
Okay. How about on the left-hand side of the video, there's a building that I can read says Karate Studios. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Was another victim of the Dancing Grannies found in that location?
Yes, there was.
And who was found in that position, sir?
Leanna Owens.
Okay. Please keep playing the video. That's Curry Insurance on the left. I can see the sign.
Correct.
Okay. And coming up will be the third position for one of the Dancing Grannies who suffered fatal injuries as a result of this incident, sir?
Yes.
Right there?
Correct.
Who was found in that location?
Virginia Sorensen.
Okay. Continue playing. What's the side street we're passing here?
Maple Avenue.
Okay.
I gotta say, man, this is heavy.
And what are we approaching here in this area, sir?
We're coming up to the area where Catholic Charities were impacted, and on the right, there's a building with, it's a one-story building with a black roof that goes around. That would be Planned Parenthood of Waukesha, or
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Like, it's heavy, like, looking at the area where all this stuff happened.
And now we're getting towards the end of Main Street here where it turns to Wisconsin Avenue?
That is correct.
Okay. There's a natural bend in the road to the left, right?
That is correct.
Dog leg left. Now we are past the point where anybody is further struck by the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
No, nobody was injured in this location.
No, they were not.
But we're approaching, if the video will go, we're approaching Veterans Park.
Correct. Veterans Park is directly in front. If you were not turn on the roadway, you would run into Veterans Park.
Right where that big tree is in the middle of the street.
Yes.
All right, and I'm impatient, so I'm gonna have you describe for us as we turn the bend, what's the significance of this area, sir?
So in this area, when the vehicle that was hitting and killing all these people came up to the bend in the road, it turned to the left, and Officer Schulten was standing there, and he made the decision to use deadly force to attempt to stop the vehicle.
Okay. And that's this intersection here that we're seeing where the two squad cars are parked?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
This is
That's
the
what
area
I
where
heard
Officer
about.
Stoughton was standing when he fired at the defendant's
I'm ready to
vehicle.
hear from him.
Yes, it is.
All right. We can go ahead and stop it at the 8:01 mark, please. Thank you. Oh, wait,
I'm
before you
very
turn
much
it off,
ready to hear from him.
it's kind of hard to see, and nobody probably will be able to read it, but maybe you, if you look real close. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a date and time stamp on the drone video. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Could you please read that?
It says 2021-11-22, and then it says 10:06, and I can't read the smaller numbers. So to me, that would mean it was November 22nd, 2021 at 10:06.
That's the time this recording was made, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Jimmy Upper, will you be turning to a new topic?
Yeah, actually, I don't have too much more with Detective Casey. I could probably finish my direct in about the next 10 or 15 minutes, Your Honor.
I'll let you finish the direct and we'll reserve cross for Monday morning.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Sir, I want to show you another item that's been marked as exhibit. Exhibit 141. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
So this is what he had a problem with. Okay, so at one point in time in one of my reactions, I was confused as to why he was bringing this up to the judge that like it wasn't fair that they can approach the witnesses and stuff like that. But I was confused about it because I didn't see the full context of the trial, so I wasn't sure exactly what it was talking about. Now I see what he's raising. I'm like actually seeing it.
I made a few exceptions to that, sir.
Will I be awarded the same?
Mr. Brooks, we'll
I
take
mean,
care
you're
of
in
that.
jail. Like, why would you?
Sir, can you please identify number 141?
Stupid question.
This is a
Okay,
list of everyone that is named victim in this case, which count it refers to, and the group that they are associated with.
Is that a summary of the testimony that you just provided, sir?
Objection. First, are we still looking at the video?
No, we can turn that off. Thank you.
I was just gonna say real quick, but I do understand why the judge put a stop to that. Just because she covers all bases pretty much when, not pretty much, she does when it comes to dealing with this dude. So anything he can use later on, to say he didn't receive a fair trial, she pretty much takes all those options off the table for him, which is very much appreciated. So I see why she did put it into that, even though it would make sense that he can't approach that because, I
Do you have
mean,
an objection to the question that was
he's
asked?
in jail. But,
Okay,
just to
keep
be
going.
safe.
Yes,
I
it
see.
is.
I
Okay.
get it.
That's a document we created for use at this trial. Is that right, sir?
Yes,
Keep track of everybody
correct.
and keep the counts all straight.
There's a lot of information to keep track of.
Okay. Move for admission of 141 and, 141. I'm not going to publish that, Your Honor. Just want it in the record.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
Yeah, I object. Is that a document?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled and the court will receive it.
Will I be able to view it?
A copy will be provided to you if it's not within the materials previously.
I thought he was gonna get mad because she didn't directly answer his question. Oh man.
Now, Detective Casey, I would like to return back to your post on White Rock Avenue and Main Street on November 21 of 2021. And do you remember something happening around 4:35 p.m. that afternoon, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you remember?
You know, it was a normal day. It was windy out. It was cold. A little bit after 4 p.m., I heard on Channel 1, which is a primary channel that our road squads use. First, I heard a reserve officer call out that he's out with two people, and they reported that there was a fight down by the boat launch.
Okay. Did that draw your attention for any reason?
It was just a little bit north of my location, and I just wanted to make sure that I was aware in case somebody came my direction.
Okay. But you didn't leave your post?
I did not.
Okay. What do you remember happening next, sir?
They dispatched a number of squads there to attempt to locate this incident.
What did you do?
You know, I started just paying a little bit more attention. I stood up, I started looking in that direction just to try to be aware in case somebody came my way.
Okay. At some point, did you hear a radio transmission from Sergeant Warner?
I am aware of the transmission, but I did not hear it that day.
Okay. How did you become alerted to a problem?
It was about 4:37 p.m. I was standing up. I was sort of in the diagonal part of the intersection, and I heard a horn blaring, beep, 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 and that sort of like alerted me, trying to figure out what was going on White Rock in the staging area. So I started to look up that way.
Okay. What did you see?
At first, I didn't see anything, and then a few seconds later, I saw the people in the staging area start to spread apart. And within seconds, a red Ford Escape appeared to come through where the staging area was.
You saw this with your own eyes.
Yes, I did.
And did you see where the red Ford Escape went?
Yes, I did.
Where did it go?
Well, first it was coming down southbound. There was a vehicle that was stopped at the intersection in the lane that was supposed to turn to the left that was part of the parade. This vehicle went around that car and then started to make a left-hand turn.
Okay. What action, if any, did you take?
You know, as soon as I heard the car beeping and I was alerted, I started to head towards the center of the intersection. As the vehicle continued at me, I ran to get in front of the vehicle to try to get it to stop.
What was going through your mind at this point?
I thought it was just a lost motorist, somebody that from the apartment building that wanted to get in their parking spot. You know, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes there's people that come through. They're impatient. What's going on? It's like it's a parade, and we have to tell them, hey, you can't be on the road right now. They always stop. It's
So you thought there was some innocent explanation at this point?
Correct. I thought I would get out in front of the car and he would just stop. We'd have a conversation and we'd safely get him off the parade route.
Okay. How did you try and stop the car, the Ford Escape?
Well, at first I was a little surprised that the vehicle kept coming at me because I'm in full police uniform. I'm standing in front of it and it started closing the distance pretty fast. So as the vehicle approached me, I started pounding on the hood.
So you were close enough to pound on the hood of the car?
Yes, I was in the roadway and the distance closed really fast.
Okay. How fast was the car traveling, would you say?
It could be 3 to 5 miles an hour, but in that area with all the people around and a vehicle that weighs 2,000 pounds against a person, I mean, it came upon me very fast and was very threatening.
Sure, but I mean, by the speedometer, it's not moving very fast, correct?
Correct.
At this stage?
Correct.
Okay. So you pound on the hood.
Correct.
Do you say anything?
I'm yelling stop and pounding on the hood and trying to get the person's attention so they can stop.
What happened?
The vehicle continued going. It like pushed right through me.
Were you struck by the car?
Yes.
How?
The vehicle contacted my body, and as it continued, I pushed down the left front of the vehicle.
Okay. And were you injured?
No.
Okay. Did you see the driver of the car as it raced past you?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a good look?
An excellent look.
Who was driving that car, sir?
Darrell Brooks, the defendant.
You're 100% sure of that?
1,000.
Was there anybody else in the car, sir?
Not that I saw.
Look how angry he is. Look at how upset he is that he just confirmed a positive identification that it was him. Pretty much every witness that's,
Show you an item that's been marked as exhibit
or
number
every
8,
witness that's come
please.
up is given a positive ID, which is good.
Tell me when it's up, please.
Okay.
Can I have that number again?
Yes, 8.
Thank you.
Sitting here trembling, shaking his leg and all this.
It is up.
What do you see on the screen, sir?
So this is a camera from Randy's Imports, which would be on the southwest corner of where I was located at. There's a number of cars in the parking lot, and on the north side, you can see West Main Street, and there's a number of people that are on the sides of the roads that were spectators in the parade, and then there's people that were actually marching in the parade that you can see they have red shirts on.
You've seen this video clip before, sir?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Absolutely.
And this clip is about 28 seconds long, is that right?
Yes.
Move to admit and permission to publish number 8.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
What is the relevancy of it?
Is that an objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled. Exhibit 8 is received, permission to publish is granted.
Okay, please orientate us.
So this is the south right here. This would be looking to the north, and White Rock Avenue is in this area here. This here is Main Street.
Okay. On the right near that arrow that you drew, near the top of the screen, it looks like there's a very bright light at the top of the screen. Do you see that?
The street lights,
No.
or to the right?
To the. Yep, right there. What's up in that area, sir?
That would be the squad cars that I had with me.
Okay. You have the red and blues on?
Correct, on both vehicles.
Okay, and that's what that light is in that area.
Yes.
Now you scribbled all over this, but can you see yourself?
Not right now.
Not right now. Where do you remember standing?
So if the squad cars were by this circle right here,
Yep.
I would have been like right in this area to the left.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this, but I'm going to ask Miss Gussie to put it in full screen because I'm not going to be pausing it or stopping it. I want to make sure we capture the whole top and bottom of this one. Okay.
We'll clear the annotation since this is a video.
So I'm going to play it through once, and we're just going to watch it, and then I'll ask you what we saw, and we can go back if we need to. Play.
Do you want me to talk while it's going on or after?
No, because I can't see the counter, so.
Oh my God, I saw him for a second. Yo. Look at that. Yo,
Okay,
it
we're gonna
looked
do
like
that
he
one
was
again.
going
Move the
like
counter up
40
so I
to
can
me, like 40
pause
miles
it
per
and have you
hour.
point
Like
out.
he
It's really
sped
hard
up
to
as he was
see
getting closer
what the
to
heck we're
me.
supposed to be looking at on this one, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So here we are. We're paused at. Whoop, you're going to start. Okay. That's okay.
So right by the flashing lights on the left-hand side, you'll suddenly see me come out with the orange vest on.
Pause, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Detective. Okay, we're pausing at the 8-second mark. Show us, circle where the jury's supposed to be looking right now. And what are we gonna see up there?
You should see me walk from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, slow speed at first and then speeding up towards the end.
You are, in other words, you picked up the pace.
Correct, and then shortly after you will see the red Ford Escape come down the street here and traverse westbound on Main Street.
Okay, now, is this video good enough to see you actually pounding on the hood?
Unfortunately, this black pickup truck is blocking where that happened at. If that pickup truck wasn't there, you would be able to see it.
Okay, and just to remind us, you're in a bright fluorescent yellow safety vest, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, play, please. Right there, is that you?
Yeah, that is me.
Okay, 12 seconds. Circle yourself, please. We're paused at 12 seconds. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and play, please. There's the red SUV.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's it
That's
for
just
Exhibit
crazy.
8. I'm gonna ask Ms. Gussie to pull up Exhibit 120.
It looked like he was going like 40 miles per hour to me. Like,
The photo is up.
Okay. Have you seen this photograph before, sir?
Yes, I have.
This is State's Exhibit 120. Do you believe this photograph is a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Yes, I do.
You've seen this photograph before, sir?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Just tell the jury what it's a picture of.
It's a picture of the Ford Escape that was involved in this incident, and Darrell Brooks, the defendant, driving the vehicle.
Okay. Move to admit 120 and permission to publish.
Object.
Your objection is noted, it's overruled. Exhibit 120 is received.
You don't like the
Permission to
name, I'm
publish
guessing.
is granted.
I don't consent to being called that name or defendant.
Your objection's noted.
Objection for hearsay as well.
Overruled.
yo, look at how clear this image is of that is him. And look at this dead expression he has on his face. He's just bro, that looks like
Okay, detective, please help the jury see
That's
what
some
we're supposed to
evil
see.
crap,
Where
man.
is the red SUV? Dumb question.
So it looks like a person
Look
that's
at
involved in
this
the band. One of the band people are to your right in the center. And then right in the middle of the screen, you see a red vehicle. And then seated at the driver's seat is a gentleman with a white hoodie on.
And appears to be black facial hair, is that correct?
Correct.
Is that what Darrell Brooks looked like as he drove past you just a block or two earlier?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name. I do not know anyone by that name, nor do I agree to being called that name. And it's hearsay.
It's not hearsay, your objection's overruled. You may answer, detective.
Yes, that's the defendant, Darrell Brooks, the person that drove past me and didn't stop when I tried to stop the vehicle.
Is that how he looked as he drove past you?
Yes, it is.
With the hood up?
To be honest with you, I don't remember the hood up when he went past me. It happened very fast. I could only see the outline of his face. I know some people later on say that they saw him with hair. When I saw the pictures with his hoodie up, it explained to me why I did not see his hair.
Okay. All right. Just let me consult here 1 second. I think I'm done for right now, Your Honor.
I just can't believe that image. Like, that was the clearest photo.
I don't have any other questions for this
I mean, it's
witness
not
at this
super
time,
clear,
Your
but
Honor.
like, you see this him.
Mr. Brooks, I will give you an opportunity to cross-examine, but that will be Monday morning since it is 4:41. Now 4:42. We've had a long week for the jurors and a couple of long nights, so I'm gonna break now. I do need to read through an instruction.
May Detective Casey step down?
He may step down, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case until all the evidence is presented and I have instructed you on the law. Do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else until your final deliberations in the jury room. This order is not limited to face-to-face conversations. It also extends to all forms of electronic communications. Do not use any electronic devices such as a mobile phone or computer, text or instant messaging, or social networking sites to send or receive any information about this case or your experience as a juror. If you come in contact with the parties, lawyers, interpreters, or witnesses, do not speak with them. For their part, the parties, lawyers, interpreters, and witnesses will not contact or speak with the jurors. Do not listen to any conversation about this case. Do not research any information that you personally think might be helpful to you in understanding the issues presented. Do not investigate this case on your own or visit the scene, either in person or by any electronic means. Do not read any newspaper reports or listen to any news reports on radio, television, over the internet, or any other electronic application or tool about this trial. Do not consult dictionaries, computers, electronic applications, social media, the internet, or other reference materials for additional information. Do not seek information regarding the public records of any party or witness in this case. Any information you obtain outside the courtroom could be misleading, inaccurate, or incomplete. Relying on this information is unfair because the parties would not have the opportunity to refute, explain, or correct it. Do not communicate with anyone about this trial or your experience as a juror while you are serving on this jury. Do not use a computer, cell phone, or other electronic device, including personal wearable electronics applications or tools with communication capabilities, to share any information about this case. For example, do not communicate by telephone, blog post, email, text message, instant message, social media post, or in any other way on or off the computer.
I think at one point, didn't they say that the jury had like some place where they set up like some designated area for them to stay or something like that? I think they mentioned something like that in the previous video. And also I wanted to say, somebody mentioned to me that Judge Jennifer Darrell, I really hope I'm saying that right, but Judge Jennifer, somebody did mention to me she's running for some kind of I think political position or something. I'm gonna look it up here real quick, but I did see that. I saw a clip of it. She did an interview.
Do not permit anyone to communicate with you about this matter, either in person, electronically, or by any other means. If anyone does so despite your telling them not to, you should report that to me. I appreciate that it is tempting when you go home in the evening to discuss this case with another member of your household, but you may not do so. This case must be decided by you, the jurors, based on the evidence presented in this courtroom. People not serving on this jury have not heard the evidence, and it is improper for them to influence your deliberations and decision in this case. After the trial is completed, you are free to communicate with anyone in any manner. These rules are intended to assure that jurors remain impartial throughout the trial. If any juror has any reason to believe that another juror has violated these rules, you should report that to me. If jurors do not comply with these rules, it could result in a
She's running for state Supreme Court. I'm not sure if that's like the official position but I looked at the description pretty much on the interview she did, and it says she considers a run for state Supreme Court. So y'all know I know nothing about that kind of stuff. But regardless, I hope she gets it, because after
involving additional time and significant expense to the parties and the taxpayers.
Because we know that she has what it takes to
on the evidence
deal with
offered
like
and received at trial. With that,
difficult
ladies and
situations, pretty
gentlemen,
much.
of the jury, you
Because
are
look at
excused
what
for
she
the
had to
weekend.
deal
We'll
with
see you
this
Monday
dude.
morning.
I'm not from Wisconsin, but I would
All right,
vote.
from the jury, please.
I'm not from Wisconsin, but she would have my vote, man. Because she has the patience and is extremely calculated. And very good with the words too. When she has those moments where she's like breaking down, because Darrell has these moments where he tries to trip her up, and she will take the time just to put it on the record as to why she's making the decisions she's making, and such as why she puts him in the other courtroom. And the way she explains that stuff, like,
Record to
flawlessly,
reflect that the state has provided to
it's
the
an art
clerk,
form in and of itself.
Exhibit
Coming from somebody that's not the best
120.
talker, like, when I hear that, I'm like, what?
this.
This sounds good.
Sorry, 141. You look back a page. 141. That's the summary exhibit that the court admitted pursuant to section 910.06 of the Wisconsin statutes. A copy of that exhibit will be provided to Mr. Brooks right now, and that's being handed to him by Deputy District Attorney Leslie Basie. All right, anything else we need to address before we conclude for the weekend from the state?
Darrell has something to say. I wish she just closed out the day.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state is excusing from its subpoenas, with the court's permission, please, Officer Phillips, Kyle Edwards, and Holly Berg.
Have you received any of the subpoena forms from Mr. Brooks related to any of these witnesses to assist with?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize because I was speaking with Ms. Basie. So she also reminded me that you were going to rule later as to Detective Guth and Erica Patterson. So we do not intend to recall these individuals. We would seek to release them from our subpoenas if they are on Mr. Brooks' witness list, which he has due on Monday, and he wants them subpoenaed. We would make arrangements to have them return. I guess the question is the exclusion order. Or maybe we should wait to see his witness list on Monday.
Let's wait to see the witness list on Monday, please. That's your due date. So I expect that will be filed, and then I can take up the issue of releasing individuals from their subpoenas from the district attorney's office. And then, of course, I'll take up Monday morning the issue with Exhibit 6.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brooks, anything from you at this time?
I'm definitely gonna have the subpoenas. Like I said, I would need to, I guess, confer with how to properly get them done and filed in the right fashion.
Mr. Brooks, I've advised you previously, I would be willing to review for completeness. You need to get those to me in a timely fashion. Your witness list is due Monday, and so I expect those subpoenas to be brought with you first thing Monday morning so I can address with you and the state how any of those witnesses who are who are also listed on the
Here he is again, basically begging for advice on how to, I guess, submit a subpoena.
state
You know,
witness list. We can address
he's trying
the
to like
logistics of
finesse some
that.
advice
Not
as
on
to
the
how to
state's
do
witness
that.
list. That's a different situation, but the state has offered for any witnesses, and the state can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding you have offered for witnesses that are on the state's witness list, that if Mr. Brooks names them, and absent, I guess, any objection by you for some lawful reason, you would assist in getting those subpoenas to those individuals.
Yes, and he wouldn't necessarily be limited to our list. We've offered, in addition to that, if there are relevant witnesses and it's reasonable to get them served, that is the southeastern Wisconsin area, we will assist in that, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. That, you brought that to my attention, and I didn't quite remember that. So get all
They're
your
doing his
subpoenas
subpoenas
together.
for him.
Get your witness list, and the state's offered some assistance in doing that.
I do want to state that I previously touched on that whole topic, that was one of my concerns when I was compiling my witness list, was I gonna be calling anybody that they already had on their list. If you recall, I stated that for the record. That was
You mean witnesses they actually call, or just witnesses who are on the list?
both.
Well, if you want to question a witness and the witness is called by the state, that will be your opportunity to do that.
Right.
Generally, that's how it's done. If you are asking to then have them recalled during your case in chief, we can take that up at a later point in time, but you got to have the subpoenas available, okay?
Yeah, I follow that. I wanted it stated for the record that I had raised that issue because at that time, I still hadn't even gone through the entire witness list from the prosecution. It was 30 plus pages. That's a lot of names.
Now he
I
talking
agree,
about
Mr.
his,
Brooks, there's a lot of names, but I
Pretty
actually,
and he complaining about all the names, and then he said none of the names for me to go through.
extended
Okay,
the filing
attorney.
deadlines. They all have come and passed, but I, obviously, in light of you
We
representing
supposed
yourself,
to shed a tear
I
or something?
extended
Like,
that, gave and have ordered that you file your witness list by Monday. So that's how we will address
Like,
that.
what does
Do you
he
have any
want
other
her to do?
issues at
Like-
this time?
Yes, I do.
dedicate a few hours after
The
work to
statement in
help him go
particular
through
that
them?
hasn't
Like,
been
no.
responded to by affidavit. The notice of special appearance hasn't been
I
responded
direct
to.
your attention to the Barnaby decision, sir. The court's not gonna be addressing that topic any further.
So what about the subject
I'm not-
matter jurisdiction?
Oh my goodness.
Sir, that's an argument that has been debunked repeatedly by the courts in the United States of America, all over the place. It is not recognized as any type of issue that a court needs to address. It is summarily denied.
Can you
Next
show
topic.
proof that it has no relevancy, Your Honor?
I direct you to the Barnaby decision, sir.
He's ending off the day on the subject matter
Can you show proof
jurisdiction.
of
I'm
that,
sorry?
Your Honor? Verify.
Wow.
Can you show a verified affidavit of that?
No, all right, Mr. Brooks, the hearing today is concluded. We'll see everyone back here
So
on
you
Monday
got a
at
judicial
8:30
determination
a.m.
that
We
you
are
will
in
not answer
recess.
that question? Got it?
All right, y'all. That is the official end to day 2. You know, a lot of the evidence is starting to get heavier as the days are going on, and I am definitely noticing that because just seeing the actual place where like he drove the SUV through the parade, it's definitely a heaviness to it I can't really put words to. You know, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you did something good for somebody today. Hope somebody did something good for you. And I will catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.